What's going on, everybody? Making sure I got everything set up here. All right, believe we are good to go. So, welcome back, everyone. So we left off exploring Market Square, and there are a couple of rat swarms, I believe, right over here. So we're going to start out there and keep working our way through Market Square. I'm thinking start with an acid arrow on that first one. And there should be, yeah, there it is. I think there's actually 3 over here. Yeah, there's the other one. I don't know why it took a hot minute for that one to show up. But we are on normal, so they are taking damage from non-magical weapons as well, so they're not too bad here anyway. And up the stairs we will find the stranger. Doesn't really do anything besides ask his weird question, and the tieflings that we can save. Or at least one of them we can save. Connor asked difficulty and build. The difficulty is just normal mode, and then our build is a Sacred Huntsmaster Inquisitor. Well, I feel like we're definitely going to fail this, because unless we roll a 16 or higher, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, definitely failed that. And we can recruit the tieflings back to Defender's Heart. And they will potentially help us in the Great Garrison. Should be able to just drop a few of these guys. Yeah, there we go. Those ragdoll physics kill me. Sometimes people will just go absolutely flying. Oh, Dare says I don't think there's game sound. Is it anybody in the chat not able to hear the game? I have it on, I just don't know how turned up it is. Yeah, should be about half, and then might be a little low over here though. How's that for game sound? John says he's been watching for the Baldur's Gate 1 stuff and everything. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. People saying they don't hear the sound. Hold up just a second. How's that? Hey, what's going on, guys? Okay, so there's the sound. Alright, sweet. Let me turn the in-game back down a little bit. Yeah, I had the, I got some new headphones, and I had to move the sound settings around a little bit, so I think that was the issue. Get my chat and everything back up. Okay. Alright. Moving on. Yeah, I wound up getting a new pair of headphones recently because the ones I was streaming with, they worked fine, but they were killing my ears after streaming. So I decided to go ahead and grab a new pair. And we failed that mobility skill check. That's what that big was.
No reason to pause.
Pip asked what difficulty settings we're running. We are on normal mode, and our main character is a Inquisitor Sacred Huntsmaster. So, I want Windwog to kill that cleric pretty quickly. That's not gonna do much for us. He's not really close enough to do much else. She might be able to. I doubt she'll get the shear. We'll try him. Oh yeah, now the game's not wanting to work. Oh Lord.
I can do this.
Yeah, hold on a second, guys. Now the actual screen isn't wanting to show up. Hold on, guys. When I tab out, it wants to update. For some reason, it's not like actively checking it for whatever reason. There we go. I should get my chat back up and we should be good to go. Okay. There we go. Good grief. Having all sorts of problems today. But regardless, there we go.
Follow if you dare.
Alright, so there is a Cambion up here that we're about to run into. That can be pretty annoying. Camilla's sickened, though.
I will help where I can.
Didn't get the Treat Affliction, unfortunately, but it'll be gone here shortly. Or, not Treat Affliction, rather, but I was thinking Mercy that I don't have for Sela's Lay on Hands. Alright, so there's the Cambion.
We will win this war.
See if we can hit him with Smite Evil real quick. Because that Cambion will be really annoying. There we go.
Excruciating.
Mela took a bunch of damage there, though.
So this is how it
And she went down. Alright.
No match for me.
She took the brunt of everything that Evoker did. And there we go. Sammy says, where can I find the optional Nabasu? You have to come back to Market Square after the battle at the Defender's Heart. After the battle, Market Square kind of resets a little bit, so to speak, and you'll find some new encounters there, one of which is the Nabasu. I am playing a Inquisitor Sacred Huntsmaster.
Death is life's final surprise, and I enjoy surprising people. Must be a good person. I like you.
Danovich says, we have a video for Legend Mythic Path mechanics. Really would love to know things like whether you keep your previous Mythic Path traits or Mythic Packs. Yeah, so I wound up not doing the Legend one because I didn't need to. Everything shown in the Unlocked video is actually basically everything there is. When you do the Legend, what you'll do is a small quest after the actual rank 8 choice or whatever. And then at that point, the quest that you do will kind of undo all of your previous Mythic levels. So you'll just get your Mythic feats, your Mythic abilities, the level cap of 40 for being a Legend, and the corruption resistance, and that's all there is for Legend. So what I showed in the Unlock video is basically what you get. Trance asks, what's the class you're using in one of the videos, the one where you feature the Mythic Paths? Yeah, that is a Mega Sword Saint is what I was using in those videos.
I do what I must.
No, primarily a Sword Saint anyway. It had some duelist levels as well. Alright. Now we're going to come up here and try to do the 2 more annoying fights of Market Square. I'll save real quick just in case. But there's 2 Vermalex, I think they're called. I always get their name wrong. Yeah, Brickhandaloo, and then there's the Vermalex right there.
Where do you want me? They'll bet you'll make a fine trophy.
Nice. Oh, come on now. I should be able to coup de grace that guy. He's asleep. Ah. Alright, from there we should be good to go. Do I think Legend is strong? Because it sounds really strong to me, specifically if you pick the Mythic feats. Yeah, Legend has the potential to be very strong just because you can take so many extra class options because of the level 40 stuff. Now, like, you don't get some of the cooler powers from the Mythic paths, but there's so much you can do with Legend, just in general, that it's hard to ignore for sure.
It happens sometimes.
Sammy says, I heard Aeon is more interesting as a second playthrough as you know more about your decisions and consequences. Personally, I liked Aeon a lot. Story-wise, I haven't played through like 2 or 3 of them, but story-wise for me so far, Aeon has been the coolest.
Together, we
I hate the voice of the spirits.
Alright, we're gonna heal up because there's a Brimarack in this building. Alright, I think we're gonna do this one turn-based. Just because I hate this Brimarack in this building. Because he gets a fire breath off no matter what you do because like of how tight the quarters are. I'm gonna try running this in turn-based because people keep asking me to see turn-based anyway.
No time for debates.
Yeah, see, he breath weaponed, but he missed. Nice. Alright. She couldn't get in range, I guess. Good grief, like just cast. So far both, like, turn-based can be a little buggy, and It's frustrating, to be honest, because I just tried to cast with two separate people, and instead of just casting the spell, they tried to move instead.
I'll cut you wide open.
That one. Yeah, turn-based can be, like, it's good for some fights for sure, but there's a lot of tiny bugs that make it frustrating at times.
Strike!
Like, probably the most annoying one is there's a bug with the charge function. Where, like, sometimes just trying to charge, like, it'll just move like one step and then completely stop. Yeah, you can get 7 attacks per round, I'm pretty sure, with Legend. I remember seeing somebody do 7 attacks per round. Offhand, I don't remember if it was Legend, but I remember that being a thing. Somebody says they wish turn-based had like an undo movement or action. Yeah, that'd be pretty handy.
No glory without risk.
Alright. So depending on what this Brimarack does, should be in good shape. We're gonna go ahead and smite Evelyn though. Is he not? Oh, I can't see him. That figures. Yeah, her angle's like just off. I was gonna try to smite Evelyn, but not gonna happen. Yeah, there's fireball. Didn't do much damage with it, at least. Comparatively speaking.
Surrender or else.
Missed.
The spirits demand your blood.
Missed. At least I hit that one.
You should have run!
If I could get some better rolls, I'd be in good shape. That wasn't too bad. I'll take an attack of opportunity if I use her bow, but oh well. And of course, was that like 3 natural ones in one round? Good grief.
Into the fray.
Well, at least he missed 2, I guess.
Too late for apologies.
There we go. Good grief. That wasn't too bad, but I got so many just terrible rolls there. In one round, I got 3 natural ones. That's brutal.
I hope you appreciate this.
And our symbol of the inheritor. Nice.
A bright future awaits us.
Trust in yourself.
Alright, she's already used this one just about everybody. Her X, that is. Will I be making a video exploring the Crusade mechanics, units and buildings and stuff? Maybe. Like, I've already done a bunch of overviews for it, so I don't feel like doing another one's really necessary. I could see the value of checking out, like, different units and stuff that each Mythic Path gets, but that's kind of running into the same problem that doing videos about the transformations are running into, is you don't get a lot of that stuff until, like, super late game to actually do anything with. And because of that, and some of the bugs that are involved with some of the Mythic Paths, that's becoming incredibly difficult to do. for instance, the I think we're actually good to leave. I don't think I need to even do that mobility check. But for instance, the Mythic Path transformation videos, I have a few of those I'd like to do, but I keep running into bugs, and it's becoming a real problem. Like for the transformation specifically, like I can always run through and beat the actual game, but I'm having a ton of bugs with the transformations, and like the quests just not like popping up properly, that kind of stuff. And of the 6 initial paths, I think I've gotten maybe one of them to work. Like the actual transformation, that is. Because Trickster bugged out on me, Aeon bugged out on me, Demon I think I can get to work. I haven't actually gotten around to finishing that one yet. But it's pretty annoying. I've heard Lich has a bug for it too. Alright, what were we doing? So... we did that, so... I think we'll go down to the party house, recruit Dayran, and then head up to the Blackwing Library. And then we'll leave the stuff down here for last, because I always run out of time when I try to do that stuff, because you get slowed way down in this little area right here.
I'll tear your throat out.
Giant bugs. Speaking of bugs. Alright, here we go. There's 2 dretches in the kitchen there.
No reason to pause.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
And then once we actually interrupt the party, there's 5 enemies that come in there, I believe. So as says, so there's supposed to be an actual transformation once you get to the end point of your Mythic quest. Yeah, so the very last Mythic quest you do is supposed to give you a transformation. There's literally even an achievement that pops once you do it for the first time. I got all of the late game ones to work, but I'm having a lot of trouble with the initial path ones. What was I doing? Right. You're like, yeah. This should be fine. Attention says, hey Martismal, just wanted to mention I discovered your channel fairly recently. Since I've been going through a CRPG period, just wanted to mention that your videos are amazing, high quality stuff. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Sorry if that corner of my green screen's a little flaky. I've got a fan running because it is like 85 degrees outside, so it's kind of messing with the edge of the green screen over there. But, that out of the way. Alright, so we're gonna have Windywog hit the wizard. We're gonna have Sela charge that. Oh no, she's outside the door, isn't she? Ah, figures. We'll have Camilla. No, she doesn't have the range. No, we'll have her attack at any rate. Same with.
This will hurt.
Ninio. See if we can get a create pit on you. Nice. That worked pretty well. Does Swarm the Walks have a transformation quest besides the prerequisite actions to unlock it? Yeah. Yeah, it does. I actually showed that off in my Swarm That Walks mechanics video. Still says, also thanks for all the beta videos you did. First time I've caught you streaming, but I watched a bunch of your stuff explaining path mechanics during the beta. Yeah, I had a lot of fun making those, actually. The funny thing about videos like that is a lot of times I make those because I'm trying to answer my own questions, so I'll go find the answer and then I just make a video about it afterwards. So I had a lot of fun doing that stuff. But, alright, talk to Dayran, get him recruited.
Valiant stranger, now that we've finished with the niceties... Oh, it seems as though Discari's occasion was all to... I thank you.
What about...
What's this? Either way, as regards myself, capital.
Sorry if I'm skipping through these on anybody. I've just heard these conversations like every bit of 20 times at this point. We talk to Aranka here. She'll give us her shawl so we can go find Thal, I believe his name is. And that is everything we needed out of here. And rather than bother with that, we're just going to go out the front door. Who's my favorite companion so far? Where's my wolf just walking? There we go. In terms of usefulness, I like Camilla the most. In terms of story, I like Ember the most. What kind of playthrough are we doing for this one? How would you, like, what do you mean exactly? Are you talking like good, evil, or something else? Are there any items that grant bonus XP? Not that I'm aware of offhand. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I can't think of any that do. I know the only thing that really grants extra, if you will, is when you do the legend transformation, it recasts all of your experience, so to speak. So legend actually changes the amount of experience you need each level. So when you get it, you're likely to actually immediately jump up to a way higher level than you were previously. Everybody else will chug potions. Don't want to waste too many of her spells on that junk. Does the enlarged enemies option increase XP? Not that I'm aware of. Oh, yeah, on the higher difficulties where there is more enemies, you'll get experience per enemy, which winds up being a little more. But honestly, that's mitigated by the fact that you're going to have a harder time killing those enemies anyway. Which mythic path would I recommend for an elemental engine? I haven't really messed around with the kineticist in terms of mythic paths too much.
What is that?
Offhand, I feel like Trickster would be a good way to go. But again, I haven't actually checked out a lot of it because kineticist, because of the unique ways they attack. Offhand, I can't really recommend like a great mythic path for them because I haven't really looked into it. But I feel like Trickster would probably be a good way for them to go. Can I suggest a class that works with Barbarian for multi-class? I've been running one and don't know it works with him since I chose the subclass with Rage being unlocked at level 4. I forgot the name. Offhand, I don't remember the name of that one either. And it depends on what you want the Barbarian to do, really. Probably past that. Yeah, there we go. And we'll do the Trickster path option. And then we'll send them off to the Gray Garrison to help us out. For multi-classing with a Barb, yeah, again, it just depends on what you want the Barbarian to do exactly. Rage effects tend to stack,
Experiment has gone awry.
or at least work in tandem with other
We do it my way.
classes and stuff, so you could go like Blood Rager or something, and that way the Rage would stack, and then you could also potentially use their Sorcerer Bloodline. So you could do something like that, but beyond that I don't really have too much of a recommendation either way.
What's that?
A failure is just a step to a success.
We'll throw that quarterstaff on. Yeah, we'll throw that quarterstaff on Ninio. That'll make her spell DCs a little harder to hit, and then he should just be using Acid Splash anyway. But I don't know. I think pretty much everybody's got armor they're gonna get more out of than that. She can't wear it. You can Ninio. And everybody else uses medium. Alright, save these guys.
Good.
Good on, Nico. So here we find our Storyteller. And we're not gonna send him just yet because I want to get the wine cellar while we're up here. Because if I tell him we're here to help him, he'll
Follow if you dare.
try to take us directly back to Defender's Heart. I don't want to do that. Oh, it's not even gonna let me leave, is it? That figures. Talk to Clam first. And we've gathered the Knights of the Flaming Lance will join us at Defender's Heart. And yeah, it's not going to let me leave here without helping him out, so we'll have to come back for the cellar separately. Auto cast on Ninio seems bugged for me. Yeah, it's like it works technically, but you have to like reset it up a lot. For some reason, it just canceled out all the time.
Adventures can wait.
Adele is talking about having a bug where the animal companions are taking up a full slot and they can't get recruits. That's strange. I can't say I particularly have ever had that problem. Chris says he's glad he caught the stream. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you stopping by, honestly. Alright, so... this is the start of Sila's quest line, where she wants us to, after everything in Canabras, help her friend Elan find a ring. Now, let's see... should have a few things I could turn in, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, that. Need to talk to Nideo to give us her quest. Yeah, the music for this game is really great. Aaron's talking about hoping the Crusade sees a little bit of improvement. Yeah, like for the most part, it's passable. Like you can get through it most of the time, but I agree there are some improvements that could be made for sure. Were you able to figure out the mysterious tile puzzles in any of your playthroughs? Yeah, actually. There's one or two guides up about it floating around as well, actually, but you'll find tiles in 4 locations around the area, and then you have to lay them down in each area the appropriate way. And then once you have the initial 4 done, there is another puzzle that's like a 5th one, and then once you have all 5 of them done, it's supposed to open up some area. The solution for the 5th one is what I'm working on at the moment. No one seems to have figured that last one out yet. And truth be told, once I actually do figure it out, I'll probably make a video about it. And I think that's it for turning stuff in. Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, gotta talk to this guy still.
I'm off.
I gave up at the tavern defense. Yeah, that tavern defense is a real difficulty spike. It's going to be tough doing the complete review for this one. Oh, it's absolutely, yeah, it's going to take a hot minute. I would not expect that video for a while. I'm at like 55%, I think. And I'm pretty sure some of the achievements are bugged. Like, no one's got the romance achievements yet, basically. And, like, they're all sitting at 0% statistics. Which is funny, because those, like, the romance ones are not difficult to get. You'd think people would have those, but I'm pretty sure they're bugged out, for instance. Okay. I believe that is everything turned in. Just have to talk to the storyteller.
I'm gone.
He gives us a bunch of exposition on the Wardstone. And ultimately we give him the purple stone knife that we found in Market Square. Otherwise he sends us to go get it. We can show him all the items. Even show him Finian, which I found was funny. But we don't have enough magic essence for the last one. And then he'll give us a quest to find elven notes. Okay, so now whenever we are ready, we can go to the Gray Garrison. Yeah, you can fail that tavern defense and the game like keeps on going. It just makes the Gray Garrison harder if you failed it. Alright, we'll sell all that junk. I think that's all the basic stuff we had. See if Ninio and Woljif can learn anything from all these scrolls. I really hope they add like a learn all button or something at some point. That would be nice. It's kind of tedious going through all these with every single person. She's good though. Alright, sweet. So... other than the fact that we need to rest, we're good to go. There's like 3 companions in Act 1. Yeah, there are a lot of companions that are actually pretty easy to miss in Act 1, especially if you don't explore everything.
I calculated the number of sexual encounters you've had in your life, considering the young age.
Let's look at your workings.
Alright. We still got some time before the attack for us to try to wrap up all of the... Where's our wolf? Alright. Truth be told, I'd like to skip the tavern defense if possible. Because you get a bunch of extra loot for not doing it. The only real bonus for doing the tavern defense is that afterwards, as I mentioned earlier, Market Square kind of resets and you get a couple unique encounters. And you'll get to fight that Nabasu. However, that Nabasu is not a fun fight, and moreover, it does drop a very useful amulet for animal companions. But overall, that fight is difficult, and I'd like to avoid it. The tavern defense, that is. And I don't think that amulet is really worth it. And we're not playing on core difficulty or above, so we can't even get the achievement for killing that Nabasu. Yeah, Laine can be really strong, but that's more because he's a Zen archer than the fact that it's him. Zen archers are just a very strong subtype for, or archetype rather, for archers in general. Yeah, going back to Market Square, it's only really a thing if you do it after the defense. It'll kind of add a few more encounters. If I could stop getting hit with random encounters, that'd be great. If I could bring any of the companions from Kingmaker into Wrath the Righteous, who would it be? Oh, I would bring the 2 Tiefling sisters. They were just hands down the most interesting companions in that game. They were just very odd. Is this my new favorite CRPG? I know DOS 2 was the #1 from your videos. It's getting there. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy this a lot. But I'm having a lot of pain points, especially towards the end game, where they didn't beta test a lot of its stuff. So I'm running into a lot of bugs that are preventing me from doing the things that I like to do, so it's being a real problem. Yeah, Kalik and Kanara. I remember their names started with K's, but I could not for the life of me remember what they actually were. Those two are really interesting. I liked those two a lot from the first game. Other than that, I was pretty neutral about most of the companions. Alright, so we need to kill both of these whites.
We will win this
I'll take
war.
care of it.
See if we can come around the corner a bit before we do that.
You'll make a fine trophy.
I hate negative levels, man. Seela got hit with 2 negative levels, but it's the short-term ones that'll fall off here soon. There's Icebreaker. And I believe we get Lethal Squall. Is it? No, it's that. There's a
Discovery.
the Orc Double Axe. That's what we get here. Yeah. I played Solasta because of your recommendation and loved it. That's awesome. Solasta is a great time. Like, if you're looking for a more like genuine tabletop experience, Solasta's pretty close to it. What's my favorite play style in RPG games? I'm gonna guess you mean like character type or whatever. Generally speaking, I like to go lawful evil and then some type of melee fighter. Or like, not necessarily like a melee fighter, but some type of warrior. Not necessarily melee, but something like that. Solasta is 1-for-1 D&D, but way too short. Yeah, it was a little on the short side. It wasn't too bad. I mean, to be fair, Solasta's much more about like the tactical combat side of things, and when you're doing a game about combat, there's really only so much story you can pack into it, you know? Plus, I mean, they were a small AA team, so it's not like anybody was expecting AAA stuff.
I'm sorry, I have to.
I don't know why Ninio's trying to melee a succubus, but there she goes. Sorry, I mean class. Typically speaking, I like I mentioned, some type of a warrior focus class, be that like a ranger or a warrior type, but I also prefer to mix a little magic with it, which is why I like classes like the Mega Sword Saint and stuff. So I guess Gish characters, if you really want to boil it down. What's my favorite Mythic path so far? Story-wise, Aeon. I've had a lot of fun with the Aeon story, like just kind of seeing that play out. I thought it was really cool. But mechanics-wise, I actually like the demon the most. Because they get to turn into other demons as like part of their spellbook, and I just really enjoy that. You can just do so much to that stuff. Why don't I set her to using Jolt? I keep setting her to do it. There's a bug where every once in a while her auto cast cantrip will just fall off and she'll start meleeing things. Ivan says, by the way, congrats on 20K. Love to see your subs going up. Ah, appreciate it, man. That was a big moment for me, actually. Because we actually only hit 10K in like, I think it was June. So doubling that in the span of a couple months, it was just intense.
Crave your commands.
And the launch of Wrath here did incredible things for the channel. I gained like 4,000 subscribers like in a span of like 3 or 4 days. First time putting a face to the name. I don't know why, but you look like such a kind dude. 10 out of 10 would invite you to my Pathfinder crew. Well, I appreciate that. That's kind of you to say. Not that I play a lot in person these days, as you might imagine, but kind nonetheless.
On your whim.
Copy our recipe there. That said, I almost never use the cooking in Wrath. I use it all the time in Kingmaker, but I hardly touch it in this game. I always forget to set someone to do it.
I am helpful.
Love the channel. Glad to see you getting more subs. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And is enlarged person have any positive effects while fighting large creatures? Based the big demon in the Tavern assault, and I was curious if it was just in my brain, huh?
We do it my way.
Enlarged person can give you a size category bonus, but that's about it. Like, it's not going to make other enemies do less damage or anything. How big is the difference between day 1 patch and the press release? It's much improved from the build I was given, like, late game. So there's a lot of problems late game still, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that there isn't, but I will say that in the review copy I was given, a lot of the quests in the late game, like, I just couldn't complete them, and I mentioned that in my review. The day 1 patch fixed a lot of that. However, I'm still running into a lot of that type of bugs with the mythic paths. As I try to go through more and more of them, I keep running into problems where I can't get like the last of the mythic quests to run through, which is becoming frustrating.
Only you deserve my obedience. I'll tear your throat out.
Do I have any idea what class path will be best for the unfair run? As far as what's best goes, I haven't messed around with it enough to figure it out, because the enemy types have changed quite a bit from Kingmaker, but I will say unfair it's just that, it's unfair. So a lot of times, I'll give an example. I was trying to do an unfair run recently until I hit a progression blocking bug, but in the first dungeon, the shield maze, it is literally possible for those Cambions in that maze to roll like a 60 to attack you, and there's just no way you're going to mitigate that. And then the difficulty modifier on their damage will make sure that one-shots you. So it's like, regardless of what I'm doing, I couldn't have possibly stopped this thing from hitting me, which is like the definition of unfair. So mitigating anything like that the best you can is really the way to go, because otherwise you're just reloading the fight a million times.
I do what I must.
And while eventually the dice are going to go your way, I don't know strategy-wise what would be best in that situation, at least yet. I'm sure eventually people will be like, this is the build, you know?
I am helpful.
But I don't think we're there yet. Where is patch 6 Baldur's Gate 3? Well, I've been working on it the best I can, but you know, it's just dev cycle and all that. No, I imagine they'll get it out soon. They mentioned when they were doing patch 5, they expected to get patch 6 out relatively soon, so I'm hoping to hear something about it this month. Mario says summoning in pets for unfair difficulty. Yeah, not a bad way to go. I mean, when in doubt, summoning's usually the way to be.
I hope you appreciate this.
I've watched Deva Orn's content. Man, I can never, like, I know that name's from BG1, and for the life of me, I cannot pronounce it. It's ridiculous. It's like Deva Yorn or something. I don't know. Anyway, the YouTube channel that guy is named after, or that takes its name from that guy, has content on spells and stuff in BG1 and 2. Have I thought about making similar content for other CRPGs? Yes and no. Like, I've certainly thought about it, sure, but at some point, it gets just a little tiresome for me to go through. And for new games, it's not so bad. But, while I do cover CRPGs, I like to cover a lot of them. And the more I get bogged down in, like, super specific stuff to each one, the more time that takes. And while I'm not opposed to doing it, it's really just a matter of having the free time to do it, which is a much harder thing for me to come by. Because I still work part-time and also have a son, so... I have no idea how it's pronounced. Yeah, that name is ridiculous, man. It's fun. Like, I'm terrible at pronouncing things just across the board. I mispronounce stuff constantly. But it's especially funny because I love fantasy stuff, and like every other word is some made-up name.
I'm sure they mean us no harm, right?
No match for me.
Oh, come on. Yes, got him off. I killed that guy before he got his channel negative energy. That's legit. All of his videos are like 3 hours long. Yeah, exactly. Like, that stuff, like, it's cool. I actually like watching stuff like that every once in a while, but the problem is actually making it is very difficult. And given the amount of stuff I want to cover, it can just be a problem. It's just kind of having to weigh the options, you know?
What do we have here?
Follow if you dare.
Rely on me.
Yes?
Ever healing hex everybody real quick. This is kind of a random note, but I really enjoy the hexes in this game. Like, just Pathfinder in general, I suppose, really, but the hexes are just really cool.
What's that there?
Your pain is my pleasure. Am I at my limit?
Oh, jeez.
Well,
That Babao basically got every attack off on Camilla there. BG3 restricts you to 4 party members now, I believe, as this game balanced, so you can have a party of fewer than 6 if your composition is good. Hey, just be tower defense. Real time was not the way to go. Yeah, for the Tavern defense, I would very much so recommend turn-based. There's just too much going on to effectively manage that in real time. Healing 1 time in 24 hours is cool for the hexes. No, like, not just the healing. The healing's obviously convenient because you're not wasting spell slots, but stuff like slumber, you can just put something to sleep effectively as a sleep spell without having to waste spell slots on the actual sleep spell. So stuff like that is just really cool. There's a lot of utility in the hexes. And because they're not based on your spell slots, you can just use them all the time. So that's what I mean with the hexes. As far as the BG3 question goes, well, the BG3 related question, comp-wise, it depends on the difficulty you're playing on, honestly. On lower difficulties, yeah, you could easily run with fewer than 6. However, on difficulty like unfair, I just don't think you'd have anywhere approaching a good time even attempting that.
Over there.
Yeah, that ice, the ice plant AC, just the extra 2 AC for no reason, is very handy. Lich pairs well with just about anything. There's melee and spell options there, so really whatever floats your boat. Kingmaker before Wrath of the Righteous, there's no need. Like they're not really connected at all. Wrath of the Righteous overall is a better experience, I would say. So unless you just really want the story of Kingmaker, I wouldn't recommend playing it first or anything. Mario says he feels like the Hex has never worked for him. Yeah, they still have DCs and stuff, so you gotta check that. Like, this is negated by a will saving throw.
I do what I must.
I am helpful, am I not?
Orcus. Yeah, Miguel points out that there's some references to Kingmaker, but nothing important. Yeah, they just do exactly that. They reference it here. A couple of the characters repeat from Kingmaker, or you'll have like short little like one-off run-ins with them. But beyond that, you're not really missing anything by not playing Kingmaker first. And this is where we find out that Horgus is actually Camelia's father. None of which really helps us out. We're just looking to get paid. There's not any reason to not play Kingmaker either. It's a high quality game. Yeah, Kingmaker, it's not a bad game. Like, I wouldn't discourage anyone from playing it, but as I mentioned in my review, and still to this day, I have a very love-hate relationship with that game because of the kingdom management system, and I know some people enjoyed the kingdom management. I personally didn't, and it made an otherwise very fun game incredibly frustrating for me personally. But yeah, that said, there's no reason not to play Kingmaker. It's still a good game. Just watched your Kingmaker full story today, and now I can't get Numerian Barbarian out of my head. Yeah, fair enough. Is it just me, or are there difficulty spikes with some of the story bosses, not the optional ones? Like, I would destroy everything in my path and get to a story boss and he two-shots my characters. Oh yeah, sure, there's plenty of that. There's definitely difficulty spikes here and there. Like, for instance, as we were talking about earlier, the Tavern defense. Because, as you can see, I'm basically, on normal at this point, I'm just mopping my way through things. Nothing's a particularly great challenge on normal, and then I hit that Tavern defense, and I always have trouble with it. Alright, get to Topaz Solutions. Mario says he enjoys the kingdom management more than the slow turn-based army fights. So what I would recommend for the army fights is when you get to Act 2, if you hit the settings button up here, or you can actually do it here, if you hit run the tactical combats automatically, just switch that to on, and it'll auto-resolve the battles for you. And then if you lost, you can either choose to fight the battle yourself, or if you won, just take the result. I do that a lot to speed things up.
What's on your mind? I wonder.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like I should be leveling up soon. I'm very close. Like 400 XP away. I'll probably actually level up before I leave this building. But I am going to save, because there's mimics in here, and they're the worst.
This will be quick.
No glory without rest.
Strike.
Ah, man.
You should have run.
No. Ugh. Didn't realize Ninio had switched back to auto-attacking again. And she clogged up the door there. This is a weird lighting bug that you see sometimes. It's like there's supposed to be a light that kind of comes in right here, and for whatever reason it just like grayscales the whole area. Yeah, turning those auto fights on is a good time. It makes the crusade stuff so much easier. Oof. Yeah, so the Tavern defense is a soft timer. It's 3 in-game days. So if you rest, and for whatever reason your rest takes like a really long time, it will start just like right off the bat. Spam some potions on Sela here.
Huh? Oh, that's what? Am I doing it wrong?
Yeah, I think she's already hex-sealed just about everybody. Nice. Alright. There's, I believe, at least 2 more mimics in here. But just one. One's not so bad.
This will hurt.
Nice. There we go. Ah, man. Still miss leveling up at like 200 experience.
I will help where I can.
Who's my favorite companion? Story-wise, Ember. Usefulness-wise, Camellia. Or Camellia, whatever her name is. You usually stay lore-friendly with your companion build or just go all in with min-maxing. Depends on what I'm doing. Like here on normal, I could really care less what I do with them. But on like unfair, you need to have a plan in mind. I believe... Okay, so all we need to do, in theory, is go to the Tirabade house, as well as head back to Market Square. Market Square is the one we need to do. Because Market Square has a timer on it, and we need to get that done before the Tavern defense happens. And then the last thing we need to do, the Tirabade residence, we can do whenever. Till Act 4, I've only found 1 mast. Have I missed one? I've only found 2 of them myself. One of them is in the Ivory Sanctum, and then the other one I found is in the Heart of the Mystery location.
We do it my way.
Okay, so this is actually Thal. We just got to give him the shawl there. What are your thoughts on the Crusade system? Do I miss much by turning it on auto after a few hours? Not particularly. I think turning it on auto is for the most part fine. I would caution you though that a few Mythic paths have quests that require an event completion in the Kingdom management or the Crusade management, and turning it off can cause some problems there. Okay. So Holren confronts Thal, and I think we're going to do the good option. Because I don't want to fight Holren, and I want his help during the Grey Garrison. Dirty says hello, love your vids, glad to see you live. Thank you, I appreciate that, man. Sammy says, what are your thoughts on the camera things in Act 4? I thought they were neat. I'm glad that it's only in Act 4, though. Like, if it was the entire game, that would get so annoying so fast. But in just that one place, I don't think it's too bad. It's kind of neat. My game is bugged because of the Crusade mechanic at the moment. Got less than, or negative 90 morale. Yeah. There are some things that can happen with the Crusade that are frustrating. Alright, then we just head up to the church, complete Starward Gaze, and that is all of the time stuff that happens before the Tavern defense. So we'll try to get Tirabade's residence, and then move on. Alright. Talk to Ilks here and we'll be good to go. So we talk to the Azadas. Be nice, and there's our Azada Mythic Path. And a level up, nice. Okay, level everybody up here. Alright, 4 feet. My animal companion should be the same level I am. I don't know why it's trying to make me take Boon Companion. That wouldn't be any good for us. Could go Weapon Focus. Not wild about it though. I think I'm gonna go Deadly Aim actually. And then they used to just be Evil Outsider, and I don't remember. I don't know how specific that stuff is with the demons for our favorite enemy. Because outsiders, the demons are considered outsiders. I know that's what they used to be under. But I feel like the fact that they have the separate demon ones makes me feel like that's probably it. I'm gonna go Demons of Magic and I'll just work my way down. Normally I go Outsiders though, because I'm pretty sure that's what demons are. At least that's how they were classified. Tried playing a Lawful Inquisitor, picked every lawful choice, and I feel like I have a split personality. 1 minute lawful, and then Restless Heretics, and then you dare touch them. Nice, that figures. Alright, for spells. Thinking protection from alignment. And then we picked up our Bane weapon, which is always fantastic.
I am never wrong.
Okay. Now we have our Bane weapon, and I don't think... Yeah. For Sela. Let's keep making her a regular old paladin. Give her a bunch more channels. And then we'll give her an animal companion as well. Rather than toughness, I think I'll pick up. Yeah, Piranha Strike. Is there more armor and weapon visual variety in the late game? I just finished the second chapter and look almost the same. There can be. You can also turn the looks of armor and stuff off. If you hit the little settings wheel in character creation, if you prefer like your class outfit more, you can actually just use that. Longbow, bow. Noise. Not really like giving her... They make her take weird spells, but she's already got her fire spells anyway, so I don't really care too much. And then anyhow, he goes illusion and then evocation, displacement and haste, and then our animal companions. I want to keep him in light barding. And I think I already grabbed... Yeah, I already got weapon. I think I'll probably go... Could go Dazzling Display, but I don't really have the persuasion attempt to do that, but that would be fun. Thinking blind fight. I gotta level up Sila's horse a lot. I think we're gonna go Bulwark with it though. We will give it persuasion and ability. No, don't need to give it medium barding because it'll get it at level 9. We'll give it power attack. And she just got that, so we have to level it up several times. Weapon focus, it gets a bite. And I want to bring it up to intelligence 3 so we can start getting teamwork feats and stuff. And then after that, probably start pumping strength. I feel like people give Ninio a hard time over nothing. I actually enjoy talking to her, even if it is infuriating. Yeah, like, she's okay. Like, the way she talks is pretty annoying, but as far as characters go in this game, she's pretty neutral. Alright, and then Dazzling Display. Nice. Alright, and then... don't think I have any armor it can wear.
Follow if you dare.
And that should be everything we can do. Alright, so we're gonna rest.
I'm off.
Once we get to the edge of the map over here. And then we're gonna, if it doesn't stop us immediately, we're gonna try to go to Tirabade's residence, but we're gonna be We should be getting really close to the timer on the tavern defense.
To the far south of Garand, at the very limits of the civilized world, lies the Mwangi Expanse.
I like that one.
Yeah, not to give too many spoilers, but there's plenty of reason to not have Camilla around, and I think they balance that by the fact that she can be very useful. Taxmage says, wanted to say thanks for your content. I'm familiar with D&D, but not Pathfinder, and your videos were very helpful for both Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Honestly, just glad people enjoy watching them more than anything. Okay. So we're going to try to get to the Tirabade residence, but we'll probably get stopped on the way there. Because we've got to be super close to the timer on that. No, not yet. That's just enemies.
Bathe in your blood.
Is there a way to see the in-game weekday? You can see the Pathfinder name for the weekday. Offhand, I don't pretend to actually know what that actually translates to. Okay. Keep on trucking here. Why is Sela red? She has the death's door condition. She got knocked to the floor by a mimic earlier. Alright. We'll save, because there's some annoying monsters outside this house.
Tear your throat out.
I think it's just that guy. And then there's like a Vermalek or whatever they're called right there. Yeah, actually, because he's going to cast Inflict Wounds, which is annoying. The wolf got the trip off. That's amazing. Wolves get a trip attack. And every once in a while, it'll knock your enemies down. That was handy. Alright, inside, there's a succubus, which is one of the more annoying enemies in Act 1. There's also a trap, like, right there.
Open your heart to me. Now, what is that?
We're gonna set her back here.
My skills are absolute.
Soot is restless. I wonder why.
This is gonna conflict with her bracers, but
You are my favorite aide. Anything new? Yes.
she just got Divine Zap. Alright. We'll have Camilla activate her Battle Master thing real quick. And her spirit weapon.
I am yours to command. They'll beg me to stop.
I refuse to accept their statement.
Yeah. There she is. Nice. Other than Sela getting hit with a negative level, not too bad. Upgraded rapier for Camilla. You got Finian, I believe. Yeah. You've got Wicked Longbow. Yeah, I think that was a good cloak for her as well, because it came with stealth checks, and I believe she has... Yeah, she's got stealth. When do I? Forget who has more stealth. Yeah. Okay, and then... Outside of that rapier and the cloak, all we get for our trouble is about 800 gold. I'm scared of that horse. Yeah, that's fair. Did I kill the alchemist boss yet? The guy was a real pain. No, he is down in the Great Garrison. We haven't got that far yet. That reminds me though, I need to look up spells, yeah. Every time I think of that alchemist guy, I think spamming him with summons. And that, ironically enough, reminded me I needed to set my spells back up. Okay. So we're going to try to get back to the tavern and rest. And then I cannot imagine we won't have hit the garrison timer by then. The alchemist guy with the mimics. Yeah, so that's a good point. There's an alchemist guy with the mimics. We've already killed that guy. And then there's another one who has a bunch of people with him in the Great Garrison as well. And I always remember that guy because he drops your first belt, which is a dex belt. Ah, here it is. Here's the tavern defense.
Do not fear. Do not waver.
Remember my name, Gwendwag.
Okay.
I do what I must.
So ideally, if it'll let me, I'd like to rest beforehand.
You're a master at drinking.
My mother.
To get rid of Sela's negative level and her death's door. Nice, it let me do it. Okay. We're gonna try this real time. But I am really bad at this fight. And we'll see how it goes. If I can get it to the Minotaur, it's fine, because I've got that Midnight Bolt on me, and I can just one-shot that Minotaur if I need to. So, for the majority of this fight, you want to be focused on this door, because that's where the arsonists come through. In the first wave, exactly one of them will come up here, but otherwise all of the arsonists pretty much come through this door until the Minotaur shows up, and then like 3 of them come through here, which is like the very last wave. And my main hunter guy has this Midnight Bolt, which deals 50 points of just unignorable damage or unreducible. So I'll probably just one-shot that Minotaur, which should make life pretty easy. Moreover, I'm going to have Nenio cast Create Pit, like right there. And then we're going to see how that does. I'm gonna have him hold position and Winduog hold position. Nenio gonna cast haste on as many of my people as she can.
It didn't work though.
There they are.
Don't hold back!
No match for me.
Okay, here comes the second wave, and there's that arsonist right there I gotta kill pretty quick. He dropped like a bag of rocks.
You should have run!
Ah, of course, you can't get a charge off anybody.
This will hurt!
Come on, do enough damage to kill the guy. There we go, there's one. I kind of want to cast Create Pit again right there, but like I feel like I'm about to hit the Minotaur, which is the last of it anyway, so it feels like a waste. I think I will have her hit haste again
Nice
though.
try. Didn't work though.
Okay, here we go. The pit isn't a waste because the villagers will turn that into a well water happily. Nice. Okay. So, use our Midnight Bolt. And hopefully drop this Minotaur in one hit. Nice. Okay. Now I need to get Windwag and my guy on those. Ta-da! Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do that. You'll find those midnight bolts throughout the game, and they're used for an achievement towards the end of the game, but you'll need one of them. And you'll find like 8 or 9 of them, and you'll find one in Market Square, and that is the single best use I've found for it. And then that combined with the Create Pit really helped us out there. Truth be told, that's probably the smoothest that's ever gone. Did you find the secret ending? Not yet. I'm pretty sure I know what it's supposed to be. And I'm pretty sure I've found pieces of it, but I haven't gotten it all to fall together yet. Okay. So I think we are going to sell some of this magical stuff we're not going to use. For instance, this diadem. We do not have a single kineticist, nor are we going to find one. Heavy Mace of Fire is good, but we don't have anybody who can use it. That Kukri would be good, but the one person you'd want to give it to, Woljif, can't use it. Club with nails is kind of terrible, to be honest, unless you're just using the club. That breastplate we might be able to use. I don't think this hide armor is good for anybody. Potion of Restoration is fantastic. And we can sell most of these scrolls because we simply do not need them. We'll keep prayer. Drop magic missile. We'll keep our wand of remove disease. That comes up more than you'd think. I don't have anybody who's going to be using an Orc double axe. Nobody's going to be using Throne. Shortbow of Code is cool, but we've already pretty much outpaced it damage-wise, and a +1 isn't that great. We'll do that, and then we will check and make sure. Yeah, so he has a bag of holding that I want. And I want to pick up that ring for Camellia that gives the extra +2 to AC. Two severed heads. Yeah, it's part of a companion thing. Yeah, so Icy Protector gives an extra +2 on top of Ice Plant's regular +2, which is very good. Considering Camellia gets Ice Plant basically right off the bat, that's just free AC for her. So she's got a 28 AC already. Which isn't amazing or anything, but it's not bad. Considering most of our guys are hovering around 20-ish. Even Sila's only got 25. Alright, and then that is well and truly everything before the Grey Garrison. So we are going to rest. And then we're going to clear the Grey Garrison. And probably call it after that, but I think we're going to try to clear the garrison first.
People call you a freak. I don't know what that's like. I was the most desirable woman in my tribe.
Is Two-Handed Slayer a thing? Probably offhand. I don't really remember if they have anything specifically that leans into two-handed. Now, as far as the two severed heads go, as somebody mentioned in chat, that is part of a quest that comes up later. You'll find them in your bags randomly. And we're going to save real quick. And then we're going to head out to the end of Act 1. Do I accept Steam friend requests? Yeah, all the time. I think basically the entirety of my Steam friends list is people from the YouTube channel here who've just added me on there. Do I think it's worth it dipping into Dragonair for Arcane Strike? It depends on what you're trying to do, really, but Arcane Strike in general is like decent, depending on your class. Still annoyed with my graphical bug with equipment not physically showing on my characters. You might want to double check that you don't have your class equipment thing clicked, because if you click class equipment, no matter what you're wearing, it'll show whatever your class outfit is, which for the Inquisitor is this. So that could be what that's about. Alright. So we saved the Knights of the Flaming Lance, which means we get this little ritual, which will give us haste for like 10 minutes. Which is very handy.
I'm gone.
What do we have?
And there's this trap right here, which we
I
need
need the voice of the spirits.
Camilla to go all the way over here to unlock.
Now what is that?
After we undo that one, first we gotta find it, which requires walking up there. Then we can disarm this trap.
I am helpful.
And back up here to disarm the other trap. Oh, is it over an hour? Oh yeah, it is an hour and a half. I don't know why I was thinking it was 10 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty great unless you need to rest. Because the second you rest, that's gonna fall off. But that said, haste is no joke.
At your discretion.
Especially at these levels. Now with that trap disarmed, we can loot in here, which gives us Irabeth's Scabbard for a little errand we can complete for some free gold and XP. And then we head up the stairs.
The heartbeat quickens.
Alright, here we go. Nenia. anything else?
Follow if you dare.
There's just a few lootable things down here, and then we have to go upstairs one more time. If anything, haste is awesome for speeding up the animations. Yeah, that's true enough. Yeah, low level with haste just flat out giving you an extra attack at a level where
We'll make things
you're only really supposed to have the one. Not a bad way to go. I can reach him. These guys are really susceptible to the sleep hex.
I will fight.
Yeah. Those Vermlex or whatever they're called. The sleep hex works on them like 90% of the time.
I hope you appreciate this.
I'm off.
Okay, and then say right here. This is annoying because there's like a, they like to bottleneck you right here, and there's like a mage that sits like right there. %of the time it works every time. That is correct. It's really effective though, because if you sleep one of those guys, and like they're annoying because they can cast mass inflict wounds, which at this level is ridiculous. So like if you can sleep one of them, usually you can kill the other one long before the other one they have a chance to cast or anything. Okay.
I'm always ready. One with the shadows.
No match for me.
Let me draw the first blood.
They'll beg me to stop.
There we go. Yeah. So I use my 2 archers to blow up their wizard.
I'll rip you apart. No match for me.
And we see Staunton and Monago getting along.
What's that?
And both those doors are locked, so we'll end up having to go down the stairs. Vincent says, hello, what's going on about the swarm that walk? Or what do you think of the swarm that walks? It's pretty cool overall. It's very interesting. It's definitely a super evil, kill all the people path.
World in current state.
No mercy for the wicked.
Yes. Gotta go, but thank you for the stream and have fun, and thank you very much for all the detailed reviews you do as well as story mechanics videos. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate you watching it, honestly. Alright, so in here we have a ton of dretches. Or at least we will. Part of me wants to use Create Pit, but I just don't feel like it's going to be necessary. There we go. Dretches die pretty easily. And we can use that to clear our corruption if need be, but we don't have any at the moment.
Mind over muscle.
There's something here.
This experiment has gone awry.
Move our bookcase out of the way. Okay.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
Ah! I was hoping I'd go to the side of it, but Ninio wound up setting that off. Like, I want to have a wizard with me, but her constantly dropping her cantrip autocast gets frustrating.
I am helpful.
Sadistic game design achievement has earned its name. Yeah, that one will probably be pretty rough. Truthfully, I don't think there's enough info about that one to do it just yet. Because it requires you to do some crusade management stuff towards the end, and some of that I cannot get to work. Like the crusade stuff that says, or the part of that achievement that says you have to max out the crusade stuff before endgame. The problem with that is that a lot of that stuff is bugged out. Like, I have all the things that should advance it to the next level, but then it just doesn't. So stuff like that. So for right now, I think it would be very, very difficult to do that, even more so than it's meant to be. Quickly slaughtering our way through the garrison. Yeah, again, the haste definitely helps with that. And then the big alchemist boss is right through here, so we're gonna save, because I usually mess this up several times, but they're gonna start coming at us the second we open that door. However, I can cast Create Pit, like right there. And then just kind of drag all of them out the door. And then Ninio got caught in her own pit. Oh, none of them wanted to hit. None of them wanted to hold position. So they all fell in the pit. That was hilarious. We'll try that again. Like I mentioned, I usually screw this up at least a couple times. Jesus Christ.
I'm always open
Okay.
to ideas.
Alright. Everybody hold position.
Anything
Ninio, open the door.
You'll make a fine trophy.
There we go. Okay, I think we got it, because their main guy died and the rest of them were just melee fighters, so we should be good. There we go. Alright. Still a little sloppy, but overall not too bad. Grimaldi says he's just horsing around. Hex sleeps the boss. Yeah, you could, but he's super far in there, and I don't want to get Ember killed. But yeah, like once he comes around the corner, you probably could. The horse is straight Leroy Jenkins right there. Yeah, basically. There's the Alice in Wonderland Easter egg that checks out. Jeez. Alright. And then where did... Okay, there he is. He is always worth killing because you get that dex belt. Which is pretty important for attacking. We'll give it to Camille though. Our main guy's dex based, but he's limited by his armor a little bit anyway in terms of AC. Plus, we're not using it for our rolls just yet. We are only using it for... I don't think we're even using it for... Yeah, it's just the regular stuff, so we don't need too much dex on him. Because ranged damage, like ranged extra damage, still comes from strength. You just get
We do it my way.
the attack roll bonus from dex.
A success worthy of praise.
Which I'm not that concerned about if I don't get the AC from it. Because here on normal, we very clearly don't have a problem hitting anything.
I am helpful, am I not?
Follow if you dare.
All that, and then we could, in theory, take that stairway up for a quick way up to the next part. But we don't want to do that just yet, because there's still a lot of stuff down here.
Together we stand.
We are gonna heal everybody up real quick.
Sodi is restless. I wonder why.
I do what I must.
And we'll save again before we fight the succubus. Though I think we'll have the thieves disarm this trap and then go the long way around where we're closer. Yeah, there isn't a lot of attributes items in Act 1 and 2. Like, you get a lot more of them later, but early game there's not nearly as many. Whereas in Kingmaker, you were practically tripping over them.
It went splendidly.
We get our tankard. That's really cool if you're going to be in a Zada. Though I've heard it doesn't always work. There's a rapier. Another magic essence, which we need. I believe puts us up to 4, and there should be one more in the garrison here somewhere. Don't know why she didn't open the door though. Don't know what Sela was trying to do there, but jeez. Everybody's clustered up right there. I don't know what they're trying to do.
I hope you appreciate it.
There we go. Grief. Shiny dagger.
I'm gone.
They'll disarm that trap for me, but we're going to go through this door so we can get directly at that succubus. And she plucks that guy's eyes out, which is pretty rough. We can have the flaming, or yeah, I believe it's the flaming lance guys use Dispel Magic, which will turn some of the Crusaders to our side here.
No time for debates.
And then we can focus down the succubus real quick. And everybody else should go down pretty fast. Nice. And for these, if I remember correctly, I've gone through these so many times now that I've basically got most of these puzzles memorized. There are some objects that you can purify in the environment. I think there was one on this map. And does anyone know what that does? Yeah, so those items that you can purify, the big glowing gold ones, they clear your corruption. So when you rest in places like this, you're still gaining that corruption, which has negative effects if you let it build up. And those items will actually clear corruption levels for you in the dungeon, so you can keep going. Got some barding. Which we're gonna put on our horse. And they fixed the barding, so you can actually see it now. There was a problem where it wasn't showing up a lot. And then also, you can actually get these Agile and Mighty Fist necklaces. They actually work with your animal companions. That's worth mentioning. That said, I think we'll give this to our wolf because it's slightly higher dex. Though truth be told, it wouldn't matter much because he gets the same bonus from strength and dex, but we're going to go ahead and use it anyway. Yeah, the Demon Slayer Ranger is probably the best way to go. It won't help you in every situation. There are places where you're not fighting demons, but given the fact that demons are the overwhelming majority of what you're fighting in this game, I would say if you're going to play Ranger, Demon Slayer is probably the way to go in this particular adventure. Now I'm going to see if I can do this without... There's a Ranger in here, but if you aggro him, he calls everybody from the next room. Or a Cambion, rather. Yeah, that guy. I don't know if I can... Don't know if I can get that or not. We'll see. Actually, I don't even think I can... I don't even think it's gonna let me do that until he's dead. Yeah, because if I attack him, he calls everybody from the next room. So we're gonna come back. And then we'll gather up everybody.
Always ready.
Only you deserve my obedience.
Trust in yourself.
No reason to pause.
Move all of them next to the trap.
Huh? Oh, yes, what?
I'll tear your throat out. They'll beg me to
Windwag and my guy go for the bard.
Strike!
Surrender or else.
There we go. Yeah, see, if you attack that other one in the other room, he calls all these people, and given how many of them there are in that tight little space, it can be a real problem. But now we'll double back and kill him.
What's that?
Save the last one for me.
Yeah, the barding was all over the place. Like, sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. There's still probably a problem or two here with it, but the last little update they did fixed the worst of it, which was that the barding wouldn't show up at all on any of the animal companions, except, like, sometimes. Okay.
Yes?
So inside this door is 2 more of the Wormalex.
You'll make a fine trophy.
Too late for apologies. I'm sorry I had to do
For you.
Yeah, see that? That inflict light wounds mass that they get at this level is really annoying. It's basically like channel negative energy, except that they can actually target an area with it as opposed to it being centered on them.
I will help where I can.
Then we head back upstairs. bunch of stuff, and then there's an annoying fight right like through this door, but the Crusaders, or the Inquisitors rather, should help us with it. Ninio, I swear to... We changed maps, so Ninio's auto cast went away again.
Follow if you dare.
Yeah, so these right here, that's what I was just talking about a second ago. If you use these, it clears corruption that you've accumulated, which will help you rest if you need to in the middle of a dungeon. That said, we're doing pretty well at the moment. We're gonna walk through this door, watch the trickster path happen, and then loot everybody. I love doing that. That saves you a lot of trouble. Okay.
I do what I must.
Almost an hour and 10 on haste. We'll probably be fine, but I'll save it just in case. Because we resolved the dispute with Ramian and Holrun without killing anybody, the Inquisitors come and help us with this fight.
They are the darkness.
Which is super handy. Get everybody in the room here, and then we will start killing. There we go. Nice. Yeah, that can be a real pain if you don't have those Inquisitors with you. And she drops that key and also this really cool scythe. Like, that scythe alone almost makes me want to make a character that uses scythes just so I can use that scythe. Because in Kingmaker, there was only like a handful of cool scythes. And most of them weren't even that good. And he says easy peasy. Yeah, pretty much. I honestly might, next stream, I might kick this up from normal to daring. But I've got it on normal, and I am just, like, I try to keep things moving for the stream, but I'm kind of just cleaning house here.
I'm gone.
So I might move it up next time. We'll see how things go. More loops, and then come back around. Explore some of these optional ones. We can find the elven notes that the storyteller asked us to grab right there. Yeah, Yomagami says you can adjust individual settings. That's true. But I prefer to keep to the presets when possible, because when people inevitably ask, "Hey, what are you like? What difficulty are you playing?" It just makes it easy to be like this. Okay. So there are two babaus that patrol this hallway. But I never know where they're at any given moment. I usually try to track them down first.
I'll bathe in your blood.
What do we have here?
Nice. Yeah, I think the item variety is a lot better in this as well.
Gone up in smoke along with this city, and so many are still yet to burn. Soon.
Nothing special in there besides that little introductory there. And then, who has the highest movement? I don't even know if I'm close to that, so... He's got 9. If I take his armor off, it's 12. Lilo's not even close. He's okay. Not even close. Alright. If I take my guy's armor off, he'll have a decent shot at it.
A trivial task.
Yeah, there we go. Well, one way anyway. Still have to pass the check back.
That was easy.
Yeah, there we go. Nice. You gotta watch the mobility checks, because sometimes failing them doesn't matter, and like nothing, there's no real consequence. And then other times, like that one, if you fail that one, you fall down. And then later game, there's mobility checks that if you fail them, your character just straight up dies. I've noticed that the Witch Sleep Hex seems to drop dex significantly if the target gets put to sleep. Often lets my Lich one-shot enemies with a spell with the minus strength dex mythic. Is that intended? Yeah, so if you put something to sleep, it's considered helpless, which means it can't like actually defend against anything you're doing, so you're going to deal increased damage. Okay, this room sucks because there are Brimmeracks, and I hate them. So I'm thinking I'll use my first Animate Dead of the stream here. To drop some skeletons in here. See how far I can creep in there before we do it, though. I can drop them like right here, that'd probably be...
Heartbeat quicken.
No match for me.
Yeah, there we go.
A failure is just a step to a success.
I am helpful, am I not?
I hate Brimmeracks so much, guys.
Weapons, spells,
A bright
poisons.
future
The art
awaits.
of killing is so diverse these
You can
days.
trust
A
me.
shame one life is not enough to master them all.
I hope you appreciate this.
It's time to act.
We will win this war.
Move everybody up past this trap.
Crave your commands.
And she set it off. Of course she did. Well, at least it's out of the way, I guess.
We stand.
Okay. I don't remember... I think there's at least one Minotaur in here, and I don't remember the rest of the composition in this room. Yeah, so there's the Minotaur, and then... What else is
Open
there?
your heart to me. They will not expect my strike.
The Dretch, another Dretch. I know there's at least a couple cultists back here. I think that'll probably be okay.
I'll watch your back.
I refuse to accept their statement.
World in crimson.
Well, the Minotaur dropped pretty quick. Oh, nice. Well, at least all my ranged guys are the ones that are stuck out there. We'll use our horse. Of course he can't get the charge on the wizard, or the bard rather. And our wolf. Nice.
I'm off.
Alright, there's a bunch of ghouls in this
What
one.
I must.
Should not be a big deal at all. Okay. Try to get in the room first before we initiate.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
There we go. Ninio, I swear to God. Need to run, but we'll rewatch later. Thanks for the info and good time. Hey man, glad you enjoyed it. Really appreciate it. Alright. They don't drop anything. This is a ridiculous lore religion check, but if you pass it, you can purify this. I don't really expect us to be able to, because I think Sela has the best shot, and she... Oh, she has a +1. What does everybody else have? 3. Ember's got an 8, so... Ember would have to roll a 16 to get this, which she did not do. She rolled an 8. Alright. And then we are just about done with the Grey Garrison.
Stunt.
You lying fit.
So it was me who...
They talk up.
I'm sorry to say that there is
Don't overcomplicate things.
My offer still stands. Come away from here, my love.
Doesn't really matter what we say here because it kind of goes the same way no matter what. Miguel says, just fought the Cambion Alchemist. I hate enemy alchemists in both games more than anything else. Yeah, they're really annoying. Their throw bomb is very effective because as a character, like, you know, all of your guys tend to be jumbled up together. Whereas when you're using an alchemist, most of the enemies are in a room, but they're fairly separated, so you can't hit like all of them with a single hit. Okay, we have the 1 Minotaur up here, which should not be an issue at all. I say that and watch him, like, absolutely care, like, completely party wipe me or something. Yeah. Of course, he crit Sela for, like, 52. Jesus. That's all good.
We'll make things right.
Okay, I think what I'll go ahead and do is just
I wonder.
rest, actually. We haven't rested all up to this point. Get some of our spells back. How does your haste last so long? Isn't it like a round per level? That's a buff you can... If you save the Knights of the Flaming Lance, they will buff you for an hour and a half. And as long as you don't rest or anything, it won't fade away. We'll lose it now because we rested and the time will have passed. However, we've only got one more fight left. And it is already heavily buffed, so we should be okay.
We do it my way.
Save real quick, and then interact. So this goes on to explain how the ward stones that keep the demons in the world wound actually were made. And they were basically bound with the spirits of angels by Iomade, which actually made the ward stones. And then we need to deal with that because this one's broken beyond repair. So we basically have to destroy it to save all the others. Now, personally, I like the Aeon Mythic Path option here. However, the Demonic Fury one, this is important because this is the only one that does not destroy the purple knife. And someone asked about that purple knife later in the game, which is why, well, destroying all the stone with all inside would also keep the knife, I believe. But I know this one lets you keep it. So I'm going to use that because later on I want to see what happens if you still have this knife, because it gets mentioned in a one-off later where someone asks if you still have it, and I don't know how important that winds up being because I didn't have it.
Look at them, Suture. They're rejoicing
So Grimaldi, the demon you're talking about is the Nabasu, and you want protection from evil. That'll usually help out with that stuff, or negative, I forget what they call it. Protection from evil usually helps with stuff like that, and then I want to say there's one other spell, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Sammy says he cleansed the stone and still has the knife. Yeah, some of the options will use the knife, is what I'm saying. No, not Radiance, Mario. I still have Radiance. Seela's using Radiance. The purple knife that you get from the market square that the Storyteller makes you go get to move the story forward. It's possible to like also destroy the knife while cleansing the world stone here, or the ward stone.
What are you doing here? Look, you're already wounded. Pathetic.
Yeah. Radiance, like somebody said there, heck, actually, it can go all the way up to +6. It gets upgraded several times throughout the story. Okay. And I think we're just going to attack
Your
you.
goddess sent you to die.
Alright, as long as Seela doesn't get destroyed, we should be fine, because we have this ridiculous buff anyway. So I feel like, with it being normal, I should just be able to let this go, and it'll probably be fine. So we'll see what just happens. Yeah. A couple guys took some wisdom damage, but that was about it.
Where is your power coming from?
Anago! To me!
Staunton, my darling. I knew you.
Shut it! Get over here now. Get behind me. If you want to finish her off, you'll have to step over my dead body first. Killing me won't be a challenge, I know. But I can last long enough to give her time to escape.
Draco, we were asked what class we're playing. We are playing a Inquisitor Sacred Huntsmaster.
Maybe you're right, but you won't change your mind either way. So why waste my time trying to convince you? No matter what he does, no matter what he says, Staunton Vane will always be considered a traitor. Well then, Staunton Vane will finally be the traitor you've always wanted. Enough talking. Monago, cast your spells and get out of here. I'll hold him off. Quickly, before I change my mind.
No, my sweet. I won't abandon.
Go.
Yeah. Unfortunate betrayal. But it is inevitable. Alright, so we're gonna mythic level everybody up. And for our main guy, I like all of them, to be honest. Not that any of these matter, but I think I'm going to go as close to the heavens, because with this being an Inquisitor, I've actually never done the Angel Path, ironically enough, which I'm thinking is what I want to do for this playthrough. And this deals a bunch of damage anyway, and also heals people. I'm thinking I'm going to pick this one for the first time. And then for our Mythic ability, Abundant Bane sounds good. But right now that would only be one extra time per day anyway. And then if I use Leading Strike, I basically just get extra damage every time an ally attacks, which I'm feeling like is the way I want to go. Mythical Beast is cool, but again, kind of at level 1's not super great. But they do ignore damage reduction. That said, I think for right now I'm going to go with Cleaving Shot, which means if we crit on our ranged weapon attack and we're using a bow, that actually kills something, we deal our weapon damage to everyone in a 10-foot radius, which is super good. And then I believe Sela, I'll actually give her Leading Strike. Mela, we will also give Leading Strike. I don't think she has anything else I want, really. We pick up Second Spirit, but she doesn't really need it. Thundering Blows is cool too, though. I think I'll pick up Thundering Blows, just to keep it different. Winduog is also getting Cleaving Shot. Ember is getting Ascendant Element Fire, because that's basically mandatory for her. And Ninio, in theory, you also want to give an Ascendant Element, but offhand, I don't remember what her damage. She normally uses like illusion stuff, which sometimes doesn't even deal damage. So it's hard to give her like a specific element, which is what makes that frustrating. We can just give her a bunch of extra spells to cast though, which I think might be what we do. I think we'll just go Abundant Casting. Give her a bunch of extra spell slots. Because the more she can cast haste, the better. I love Create Pit, by the way. Like, that is such an overlooked spell, and it's so funny. And it's really effective as what it does, which you guys saw. I think we're gonna drop Magic Missile, pick up a few more Mage Armors, and don't really need Vanish. Could go Summon Monster, but it's just the dog one, so I don't feel like that'd be super strong. I think we'll pick a... well, no, because Sleep's... that's going to be outpaced here pretty soon. That will... because it only affects 4 hit dice worth of creatures, so... Here pretty soon, we're not going to be getting a lot of use out of that. I feel like... Probably just pick up some more mage armor. She's not doing a ton of damage with this stuff anyway at level 1. And most of what we're having her do is support cast. Because we already got Ember for damage cast anyway. So we'll leave it right there for now. Make sure I got everybody else's spells while I'm thinking about it. Which, don't think she gets any more. Yeah, because we didn't level up or anything. So, cool. And we're good to carry on. No Grease, it's my favorite level 1 spell. Yeah, I just like Create Pit. Grease is pretty funny though. Actually, that reminds me, I need to, once we get to the camp, I gotta see who can learn what. And we have our victory feast.
Make way. Warrior Queen coming through with a round for the heroes.
I did consider it, and I am still considering.
But someone did more than the rest of us. Don't deny your achievements.
According to the watch reports, there has been no demon...
Beth, come on, you agreed. No.
All right, I'm done. No more.
It's simply unforgivable. While we're on the topic of the roof... Nice.
Navi!
What do you mean? Well...
Iomede's blessing.
I feel a little chastened after what you said about public officials. But I myself...
Your Majesty...
Yes, it is I. I made the journey here to deduct the cost of repairing the garrison roof from your salary. We have not been introduced. Galfrey of Mendev. Thank you for the compliment.
We're gonna go Angel, so I'm curious if we can romance the Queen that way.
Yourself, come on.
Because I've heard she really likes Angel Mythic Path people.
Without any fanfare, because I did not wish to draw attention away from our honored hero here. My personal guard and the force I brought with me are standing watch outside the city. I ordered all your sentries to stand down. They also deserve a break. Every person who tirelessly fought concerning the because
Your Majesty,
Count.
I live to
I'm going to drown him in...
I vow.
Not a chance.
I shall hold you to that. I did not come here.
Alright, and that brings us to the beginning of Act 2.
The fires of Canobris have died down. Now the army's path leads to the walls of Dresden, a fallen citadel that the Crusaders have been trying in vain to reclaim for 70 years. The new piece on the board might give their efforts some added momentum.
And we leveled up, nice.
Rise, warriors. Today is a day of sorrow and pride. Sorrow because we weep for our brothers and sisters who perished in Canobris. Pride because despite demonic treachery, our heroes were Queen Galfrey of Mende, and I am glad to introduce the hero of Canobris. And now it's time to rest. Everyone is dismissed. There.
All right. Dark Hour says, when you play the game on unfair mode to beat it, can you post your builds? Yeah, I'll probably post the builds I actually wind up beating unfair with once that eventually happens. And Kenny says, did anyone get their physical items from the Kickstarter yet? Not yet, no. They said they had to postpone them. They are still supposed to be mailed in September, though, and they're supposed to email everybody when the shipping actually happens. But for the same reason everything else is delayed this year, they had to delay the shipping. Alright, we're going to level our characters up, and then that'll probably be it for today. Because frankly, I need to stand up. We got our teamwork feat, which should also apply to our pet, because we are a Sacred Huntsmaster. Yeah, they apply to everybody, rather. But at any rate, we already have Precise Strike, which is my personal favorite. We're going to be standing next to casters a lot, but we're using range, so we're not actually going to be close to a lot of these people to get bonuses from this stuff. Or at least a lot of the good ones, anyway. I think we'll pick up back-to-back, though. Then for spell, I think we'll pick up Hold Person. Everything else we usually get through somebody else already. And Hold Person's pretty brutal if you can get spell to actually affect the target. The auto level up wants to give her Fireball and Heroism, but I'm thinking I'd rather drop Fireball for Spiked Pit. Heroism's not bad, but the only being able to cast it on one person's not great. And then I could just use Haste, which is going to give me more attacks anyway. Which will make me more likely to hit. So I feel like I want to pick up Spiked Pit. That seems fun. And then I want to pick up Deep Slumber, but I don't feel like I necessarily need to. I don't even want Fireball, though, to be honest. Not with her, anyway. Lunaria says that Haste attack bonus is enhancement and Heroism is morale. Yeah, like, I'm aware they would stack. My point was that I can just cast Haste, which affects everybody in an area, and then I can affect everybody with that spell versus having to individually cast Heroism. So Haste will give everybody an extra attack basically immediately and move faster. Whereas Heroism would be more of a pain to cast and only affect one person. Yeah, I'm thinking... I'm just go ahead and pick up Deep Slumber. And Ember. Back to the luck. Yeah, so you can give that to your tank. That's usually pretty effective. And she herself doesn't need Ice Plant because she's more of a caster anyway. And then she wants to pick up Heroism. Which I'm actually okay with because I would prefer she got Cure Serious Wounds, to be honest. But, we'll take Heroism. And Winduag, we're just letting her be a fighter. Wants to give her Dazzling Display, but she has like no persuasion. I don't feel like that's the best thing to go with for her. I think we're going to change that. I was thinking mini shot first, but Point Blank Master is really good too, because then they don't provoke attacks of opportunity every time they fire their bow when there's an enemy standing next to them. I feel like I'm going to grab that for now, and then we'll pick up clustered shots and mini shots later with her extra fighter feats and stuff. What Mythic Path am I planning on taking? For this run, I was thinking Angel, because I haven't actually used it at all. Yeah, you can do a lot of crazy stuff with the hexes, as people are mentioning in chat there. And for her mercy, we're gonna get diseased. I haven't seen the other ones come up too much. I think that's everybody. Besides her horse. Bulwark. Persuasion. Next. Alright, there's everybody leveled up. Talk to the storyteller real quick. Give him the page we found. He'll tell us a story about how the Earthfall happened, which was an event in Pathfinder history. The more pages you find him, the more he tells you about it. I'm going to give him the other page we found. And then we can make the Covenant of the Inheritor, which you can give back to Queen Galfrey if you want, because technically it's hers. However, it gives you a holy aura, and every party member in 30 feet gets a +2 bonus to their caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. Their weapons become good aligned and count as if they were made of cold iron. So that is a ridiculous buff. But you can also give it back to Galfrey if you want. Truthfully, though, I think we might keep it. Because that is a ridiculous aura. But I think that is where we are going to end it for today. I've got some editing and stuff I got to do for tomorrow's video. But I may or may not be streaming tomorrow. I haven't decided. Kind of just depends on how some things go. I'd like to stream a little more, honestly, just to get more of this playthrough done, because I'm having a lot of fun streaming this with everybody. But with that out of the way, guys, hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, remember to like. That actually helps out a lot on the streams, especially the VODs afterwards. So like, comment, all that jazz. But regardless of any of that, thank you guys. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.